Welcome back to part 2 of our video series on the finance project. So as you can see, I've flipped over to the other side of the page. This is the one that has things that are in white and things that are in gray. The only thing I expect you to do this week are the things that are white. So what you're going to do is you are going to end up, so here, you are going to end up, make this a little shorter so I can see the bottom. There we go. Taking the option that you liked best. So we talked about how to get all of these monthly expenses in the last video. So once you have the option that you think will work, where your income is greater than your expenses, then you're going to move over to the second page. These numbers I've pulled directly from my last option. So here the 250,000, that's from right here at the bottom. This is my total for my apartment, 60,000 for the year and 14,000 for the car. As you can see, those numbers have been moved over into the new, what is it? Into the new thing, into the new square. Living room. Now this is where you get to take that total that you did all that addition on. My living room, let's say, was $12,456.24. My bedroom, I like a really comfortable mattress, so I'm going to say 20. This is ridiculous, by the way. $25,423.12. That's insane. Well, I know some people spent way more than that, but that's okay. Now, what you're going to do after you enter that in for that yearly cost is we are now going to go through these 6 steps along the top. So we're going to put this into a fraction, convert it to a decimal, turn it into a fraction out of 100, then the percent, and then this one here, this is the hard work, but I'm going to walk you through it step by step. These last two are something that will kind of work out right now. So we're going to start with my income. The income, I'm going to make this a nice blue color. The income is the whole. So this whole part of the fraction is going to be my income. So if we take a look at what I'm saying is that my income was, hold on here. There's a brand new app. My income was 250,000, like so. Now, that's going to be the bottom part of our fraction. This thing here is the whole. So that's what we're going to be comparing everything to, is our income, right there. So when we take a look at the first item, which is my vehicle, per year, was, where did I get that number from? There we go, just move that over. My vehicle cost for the year was $14,090, so $14,090.88. Now for the rest of this project, we are going to delete the pennies. We don't need the pennies. You can just take them all off. So here we have 14,090. So what does that look like in our fraction? 14,000. Is there an eraser? Good. Let's go back to the pencil. 14,090. So you can see that this is going to be the part. Okay, so this is how we would normally write our fraction. When we're doing things in Excel and in other word processing, what we do is we just turn this so it looks a little bit different. The first number is going to be the numerator. The second number is going to be, wow, that's pretty good mouse work. So these two are actually equal. Right? They're the same, which is kind of cool. So this equals this. So when you look at my sheet here, you'll see that my fraction in this square is written in that new format. So the very first thing we're going to do is we take our fraction, we write it as a part of the whole. This is always going to be the whole, which is your income. Ooh, that was kind of fun. Wish I could get that again. Anyway, that's okay. So now to get the decimal, you can either do some really long math, or what I would recommend is use your calculator for this. So we go 14090, which is my first number. Then we're going to divide that by the whole, 250000. And we hit equals. So you see I get 0.0563. Now I've put the 0.056 on here just to illustrate something, because one of the things that we were talking about was how we round to the cents, or to the second decimal. Now that's the hundredths place. So we get 0.0 is in the tenth spot, 5 is in the hundredths. That's the one we're concerned with. So the third number that I have here, which is the 6, if that is bigger than 5, that 0.05 becomes 0.06. If it's less than 5, so if it's 1, 2, 3, or 4, then the number stays the same. So because this number is bigger than 5, I'm going to have 0.06. Now when we say that, that's how we say 600ths. Remember that TH. Because this hundredths turns into our fraction out of 100. I need to change that because it's not 7, it's 6. So that 6 becomes 6 hundredths. Yeah? Percentage. Remember, the percentage is just a number out of 100. That's why we do that conversion. That was fun how that zipped away. We put this 600th, that is actually our percent, but that percent sign, remember, is just another way to say out of 100. Now the last one, that stuff should be pretty straightforward. Okay, should we do another one? Yeah, let's do another one. We'll just do another one right now. So we'll do that last calculation after. So this one would be 60,175 out of 25,000. 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. That's 250,000. Now we got to convert that into a decimal. We go to our calculator. 60,175. I divide that by the total, which is my income, 250,123. Now this should be bigger than 0.06. Let's see what we get. Ah, there we go. Almost a quarter. Wow, that's expensive. So we go 0.2. So there's my 0.2 tenths. The hundredths is a 4. Thousandths place is a 0, so this is going to stay the same. So I get 0.24, just like that. Now this says 24 hundredths. You just write it down, 24 100ths. What's it going to be as a percent? Exactly, 24%. Might as well keep doing this while we got this going. We'll kind of reinforce it. 12,456 out of 25, 250,000. Back to our calculator. 2, 4, 1, 2, here's my numbers dyslexia, 4, 5, 6, divided by 25,000. Answer is, now what would it be? 0.0, now 4 is my hundredths. The third number is bigger than 5, so that's going to be 0.05. 0.05 because we round up. If it was less than 5, if it was 0.043, it would just be 0.04. 5%, oh no, I did that wrong, didn't I? 5 hundredths, this would be 5%. Last one. Clear. We go 25,432.12. Nope. Thank you for the correction. No decimal. 25, 1, 2, 3. Answer is going to be 0.10. Third number is less than 5. It's going to be 0.10. This one here, we go 25,432 divided by 25, 1, 2, 3, 4. I get, now here's, this is interesting, right? 10. It's not going to hold that though, but we want this out of 100. So this is actually 10 hundredths, right? So I get 10 out of 100. Otherwise, it's just 1/10, but we can always times by 10, times by 10, and we get that. Otherwise, you're going to end up with 1%, and that won't be right. Okay, so that's really the work right there. That didn't take too long. None of this other stuff you're going to fill out right now. Anything in gray, you're going to leave because we haven't got to that. We got to get this scale down first. Now, the hard part. My fraction here is 6 out of 100. I need this to be out of 360. Why? Because eventually we're going to be turning these into circle graphs, and that's the kind of information you need. So let's pull this little whiteboard back up, see if I can get a new one. Nope, cancel. Nope. How do I clear it? I just go like this. There we go. So cross, multiply, and divide. My first fraction was 6 out of 100. Like so. So kind of a ratio that we're going to set up. We're going to set this out of 360. I know that 6 out of 100 is equivalent to something out of 360. So the big thing here is what we started doing the other day. We're going to do something called cross, multiply, and divide. And really this happens because if I multiply these two together, I'm going to get a number. That has to be the same number that I get when I cross these two. That means they're equivalent. And I wish I could erase that. Can I do that? Nice. I'll just go back. So, this is such a gonk show. 6 out of 100 equals something out of 360. There we go. Perfect. Now, first thing we do again is we're going to cross multiply. So this is going to be multiply. Bink. Let's put a nice big multiplication dot in there. All right. So what I do is I go 6 times 360. A great opportunity to practice your long multiplication. Great opportunity. 360 times 6. I'm going to use my calculator though, because this mouse work is not so smooth. 2160. 2160. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to divide by the other number. So I cross multiply, which goes across the equal sign, and divide by 100. Well, dividing by 100, I know, is fairly straightforward because I have 1, 2 place values here. So I can go 1, 2 place values here. It's going to end up right there but at the 21. So this is going to be 21.60. Right? Now this is the only time that I'm going to have you write down a decimal 0.60 out of 360 in a fraction. This is not good form, but for this project I just want you to leave it there because the degrees, I'll explain what this is later. What you're going to do is you're going to take 21.6 and you're going to round it to the nearest whole number. So when we look at this, we have 21. This is the place we're trying to round to. If the number after the decimal is 5 or greater, this number is going to go up. So I actually get 22. Why is that white? I'm going to get 22. Hey, go back to black. There. I'm going to get 22 degrees for the answer there. I'm going to run you through one more here, and then you can use this video as a way to nope, not there, as a way to go through it on your own. So the big thing here, if you're still struggling with it, watch the video, try and go through it. My next number is 24 out of 100. They're all out of 100. Isn't that awesome? Equals something out of 360. So first thing I'm going to do, what is it? See if you can remember. Do I divide here first? No, you can talk back to me. I know it's kind of weird, but you know what? You talk it out, it makes things easier. So I get 24 times 360. Again, if you want practice, get your paper out. You don't have to use a calculator. 24 times, if I could write on this instead of using a mouse, I would. So this is going to equal 8,640. Make sure you know how to read these numbers. Okay, 8,640. And I can go over here and divide it by 100. I know it's going to give me 86.4. Again, if we're dividing by 2 zeros, we move 2 zeros in. So I get 86.4. 86.4 over 360. 86.4 divided by 360 out of 360. Okay? Next number after the decimal is a 4. It's less than 5. This is going to be 86 degrees. Finish that up, and that's the work. All right, make sure you understand all those concepts. If you need anything, please send me an email, and we'll see what we can do. So you should have your final option locked up and all of these details put in. And you guessed it, next week we start adding in all these other calculations. Try and do it by hand, those multiplications, especially by the 360. It's a good practice, and we'll talk to y'all soon. Cheers.